Today I'm going to show you the strategy that went 5 for 5 last week, which generated $13,000. So you're going to want to stay tuned. I'm going to show you how I did it. I'm going to show you the trades that I took. I'm going to show you all of the details on every little bit of it. I'm going to show you how the strategy performed, and I'm also going to show you how I traded it, because I didn't trade it exactly the way that it was supposed to be traded. So I'm going to show you some great techniques and some mistakes that I made. So you're going to learn a lot. So you just want to watch the whole thing, and we're just going to dive right in. The first thing I want to show you is this is the strategy that I'm going to be teaching. If you want to get into details here, go and look at this strategy. It has everything you need to know, okay? That's what we're teaching. All right, now let's go ahead and explain how the strategy works. So we go to hourly candles, and let's take a look. Let's remove the watch list, okay? Hourly candles, and I'm pointing the arrow to the first hour right there, second hour, third hour, fourth hour. Okay, so every day this week we went off the very first hour. And the way the strategy works is if the first hour is green, then the market is going to be green. If the first hour is red, then the market is going to be red. And that's how this strategy works. And so far, it has about an 82% win rate on the QQQ. Now, it also works for the SPY, and that's what I'm going to be trading on. The win rate on the SPY is slightly less, but I use the SPY because there's better premiums. So right here, if the strategy is green, we are expecting a green day. And the way that I'm trading this is I'm using a credit spread. Let me show you in the charts how the credit spread works. So if we have the open, let's say the open is at green, what we want to do is we want to pick a credit spread. So it's 547 is the price. Well, the open's green, so we're expecting a green. So I want to get a credit, and I go down and I look at the delta, and I try to pick a really good delta, which is 0.3 to 0.2, and that's like a 70%. A 0.3 is a 70% probability. So I'll just then run a spread, set 90 and 71, just like that, and then I receive a credit, all right? A credit. And then, so then we'll say $100 or 100 contracts is 10K. You make $2,000 with a $10,000 investment. Now, if we really are confident because the strategy is so solid, we can bump this up a little bit and we can get a higher credit, right? So now the credit is $2,591 or $2,600, really. $2,600, and that's what I was aiming at for. So that's how I've been trading it. Let's go ahead now to the chart. All right, so let's just review the week. So day 1 was green. Day 2, green, ended up. Day 3, it started up, but it ended down. And so that first candle on day 3 is an actual down candle. So that was a sell. It's June 25th. The candle's up, but you can see that it closes. It's down, right? So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at the first hour candle. Oh, I have it on 15 minutes. Let's go to hourly. That's what my problem was. Okay. So you can see the day 3 is down. So yeah, you want to make sure that you have the candle on the hourly time frame. Day 4 up, day 5 up. So let's look at the spreadsheet on how we did this. Every day we got 2,600 on Monday, 26 on Tuesday, 26 on Wednesday, 26 on Thursday, 26 on Friday. Now, just to note, you do get a $10,000 risk on this. You get a $10,000 risk to make 2,600. So you can make 26% on investing 10K. Now, the problem is with this strategy is because you're using zero DTE trades, you can lose everything. right? And that's where the risk is. But 82% of the time, if you don't want to risk 10,000, you could risk 1,000 and make 260 a day. And if you run the numbers at an 82% win rate without making any mistakes, which I'm going to talk about some mistakes here in a little bit, it's a pretty good strategy. Okay, it's a pretty good strategy. So now I have a couple of situations. So now I want to talk about how this is how the strategy worked for last week, but now I want to show you how I traded it. So the first scenario with my trading was that I did not have 25,000, so I could not day trade. So what did that mean? That means I had to open up anything that was 2 days, right? So on a Monday, I had to close it on a Tuesday. On a Wednesday, I had to close it on a Thursday. On a Friday, or I have to close it on a Monday. Okay, so that actually hurt me quite a bit. So that was the first issue. And so the second issue is that this guy here, Oscar Carboni, I love Oscar, right? And I'm not saying anything bad about him, but he said, Iran bombings or not, the charts will lead the way. If we look here, he said to go short, right? So I've got my system, which is saying go long. Right here, first hour is a long. Oscar Carboni said go short. So I followed Oscar, and I didn't follow the strategy. So I put in a $10,000 on a short. And, well, it worked beautifully. Oscar really did well for me. Let's take a look. The entry was here, and the price really rocked. I'm going to zoom up on this. The price rocked up, and I'm like, I'm shorting right here at the top, just like Oscar said. He said short on pullbacks. And sure enough, the price went from $5.30 all the way down to $5.23, $7. And of course, I did it on the SPX because of a higher. But look, here's my post. I was up. I'm like, I just took a nice trade. I'm happy. I'm going to teach more on it during the week. I was up 1,800. And actually, at one point, I was up 2,100. It was awesome. Oscar did me right. And then the strategy came back and did right. So they were both right. But here's the problem. It was my Robinhood account. I only had $20,000 in capital. So I couldn't day trade. So I opened this for a 2-day position on the short side, and it was up $2,100, but I could not close it. Robinhood would not let me close the trade. So therefore, when price started to rock to the upside, I watched it all disappear. And then the next day, I had to close it, and it gapped up huge, and so I closed it for a $7,000 loss. So where the strategy should have been $2,600 profit, and what I was hoping to get a $2,600 on these two and a $2,600 on these two, so I could get back over $25,000, so I could get back to day trading. But instead, I took my account from $20K down to $13. Okay, so now, next point. Okay, so that was a win turned into a loss because of the day trading strategy. So now I'm stuck. So now my next trade was Wednesday. We got Wednesday, which was a short trade. So Wednesday was short. I took the short, and it went really well. Market came down and closed short. It would have been a winner. But again, I had to take a 2-day trade. So it was short, but then the next day it went straight up all day. So on this day, the signal was right, but because I had to take 2 days, I ended up losing, so I lost 3,000. All right, so I lost 3,000. And Friday, I didn't really have any funds left, so I stopped trading. If we take a look at my Robinhood account, you can see my balance is 10,000. And so I still had some money to trade, but here was the situation was the reason. There were two couple things. This is the lesson territory where I'm learning. And I've been learning this for a long time, and I've had so much success, but I've also had a lot of great failures. But here was the situation. I needed to make money. And I found this strategy, and I wanted to make money because I have a $10,000 payment that goes out at the end of the month, and that $10,000 is for my daughter's schooling. And so I was wanting to get a strategy so I could get up to 25K and make at least 10K a month for the schooling, right? And so I knew that if I could get up to like 35, I could take out 25, I could take out 10 and still have 25. So I was trying to make money, okay? Well, now I have $10,288 left. I'm going to have to withdraw 10,000 of that. So that means my trading account has $288. Now, with that being said, I've still got this great strategy, but I only have $288. Okay, so that's going to be a situation for me. But what am I going to do? Well, first I'm going to tell you the lesson that I learned. And one of the biggest lessons that I learned was, if you don't have the ability to trade the strategy, even if it's good, don't trade it. I really wanted to trade this strategy because it worked, but I did not have the ability and I needed the money, so I made a very foolish choice. So that's lesson number one. Lesson number two, use proper risk management. With a 20K account, I should only be risking like 1,000 or 2,000 max on this trade. Going for, if I risked 1,000, going for 200. I should have been going for $200 a day. And then number two, I should not have been trading it at all, because if you don't have over 25,000, you can't trade this strategy. So there's other strategies out there that I'm going to trade. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just trade, since I only have 200, I'm going to trade in this demo account that I set up. And I'm going to just hopefully update on this. I'm going to run a lot of different strategies. I started out with 100,000, and I'm just going to keep trading demo until I get enough funds to go live. And I do have $288 in my Robinhood, so I'm going to use that and grow that slowly. And by the way, this is Freedom Income Options. And so I do have an amazing strategy where my customers are loving it. And they're trading it really, really well, and they're having a lot of success. Let me just show you. It really works well, right? But because I needed money, I made a lot of mistakes. So here's what some of my customers are saying. Like Alex is like, life-changing course. Before working with Casey, I did not know much about options, right? So a lot of my users are changing their lives because they're going slow. I went too fast, but I'm going to be teaching. Even teaching on this YouTube channel. I found this great strategy, and I kind of got off the main course of the channel, which is about freedom income, which I talk about here, cash secured puts. But then I got off the track because I found this great strategy. And not only that, I was really encouraged because I got 10,000 views. A lot of the other videos didn't get as many views. So I'm like, okay, this is going to work. But it's all right. We fail, we get back up, and we keep going. But hey, if you want to check out my program on cash secured puts, it's amazing. It works really well. You almost never lose. I can put more training on that in here too as well. But check the links below. Check the links below for all of the videos, all of the resources. I've got all of it in the links below. Again, thanks a lot, and we'll see you in the next video. Things are going to really get interesting.